Sorry, I wasn't listening. Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerd Age. This is the show where we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Mick, and with me, mostly as always, is Jonah.
Hey,
Corey's not here. I know I was going to screw that up. Josh.
Hey, what's up?
And instead of Corey, we have
me,
Crystal, Josh's wife. Is it like getting stuck on the bottom of the cup and then it drops?
Yeah, it's the precipitation.
Ah, okay. Cup holders making noises and everything. Welcome.
We're starting off awesome.
Yes. Welcome to the show, everybody. A little bit different format today. Corey is not here, so we do not have the camera to record for a video podcast. So this will just be an audio format. I think Corey will probably be back next week. So, but yeah, as always, if you like what you, I guess, listen here this week, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram,
Facebook, TikTok, everywhere. And share the podcast with your friends.
Yes, definitely. So today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to jump into some Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. We're going to do non-spoilers because both Josh and Crystal have not seen the movie yet. Because they will see it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
at some point.
Someday.
But you're all the way caught up, so you just have the one to go.
Yep. Yeah, we're just going to kind of be generic. We won't really go into spoilers. We might go a little more in-depth, and it would just be like a non-spoiler that we normally do, like 5 minutes, but we won't do any big spoilers or anything. So if you haven't watched it, that's fine. We're just going to be kind of generic about it. Mick and I went and watched it together on Tuesday, and I don't know. I thought it was really awesome. I really enjoyed it. I feel like a lot of people are going to probably disagree with myself and Mick on this, but when we left the theater, we kind of said, I think Ethan Hunt is better than James Bond.
You guys were cooking up some hot takes.
We were cooking up some hot takes after the movie, but I think it's really good. The action feels real. I mean, even though it's like crazy stuff, but it just feels more like believable in some ways. I had talked a little bit when we went and watched Indiana Jones, and they have a chase scene, how just like goofy and just like just generic it felt. This has a car chase in it, and it just is completely different feel to it. Like, yeah. I was engaged in it. I wanted to see what was happening. There's points in the movie where I was actually like my palms were getting sweaty because they do build up kind of that what's going to happen. And even though you've seen stuff like action sets like this before, it's just the way it's done just feels so well done that you kind of are on the edge of your seat. And so it's just a big contrast between watching an action movie in Indiana Jones that just felt like lifeless, and this one that just felt like there was heart put into it. It felt like there's a reason for the action. We talked not to compare all the stuff to Indiana Jones, but even like the shots of Indiana Jones, like, oh, he's going to run, so we're going to cut away. Like, you have shots of Tom Cruise just running, right? And you're like,
I mean, they do have like a 20-year difference between them, but still, it's still to the point of, I think.
You're just hating on Harrison Ford for being old?
No, I'm saying
it's a high standard to hold him to.
The action scenes, the way they're filmed, are just so much better and more entertaining. I think Tom
Cruise and that team just have a much better handle on how to shoot action, and bring it to the screen where it's interesting to watch. And I don't know. Both of the movies have a train sequence, and it's really literally night and day between which one I believe is just better done.
Yeah, and even let's say we don't compare it to Indiana Jones, but other movies we've seen like The Flash, other action movies that have come out, it's just a whole different ballgame. And so the action is great in this movie. I really like the music in this movie. Mm-hmm. All the acting is really good. There's not a single person in this movie that you're like, oh, that's a bad actor. Like, everyone's good. Like, the villain was good and entertaining. What's her name? Atwell.
Atwell.
Haley Atwell is awesome in this movie. Mm-hmm. And just the dynamic between her and Tom Cruise works good. They have a lot of chemistry together. Mm-hmm. It's just really well done. Like, this is a movie that I don't really have any complaints about it as far as being
it's a
like
10. Wow.
I'm just saying, like, it's a great action movie. The acting's good. There's emotional parts that really land well. That kind of keep you guessing. The typical thing in Mission Impossible is, okay, who's that guy? What's going to be the twist? They do a good job with those kind of things. Also keeping you like, what's going on? But it just really worked. It was really a lot of fun. I would recommend it a lot. I think it's probably one of the better movies that have come out in the last few years. And yeah, is there anything you want to add?
Not really. I mean, like we said, we're not spoiling anything, so we're just trying to speak generally here. But yeah, I mean, Tom Cruise just knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's really good at just making fun movies. And there was even like a little message in front of the movie with him and is it Christopher McQuarrie?
Yeah,
the director. Q.
That's what he calls him.
Basically, just saying like, "Hey, thank you for." I think he had the same message in front of. Was it Maverick too, where it was just like, thank you for coming to the theater and watching this on the big screen, basically. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much everything you said. I really don't have much complaint about it, other than the fact that I think the last one was just a little bit better, but it's nothing of a knock against this one.
Yeah, one of the things, there's a scene in this one that everyone has seen, because they've put it in the trailers, the motorcycle off the cliff. Mm-hmm. Like, they put the behind the scenes. Like, for over a year, they've shown a lot of that stunt.
Yeah, they did behind the scenes
They did behind the scenes that they released and all this kind of stuff. And the crazy thing is, even seeing all that stuff, watching it was still like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And that's a weird thing. Like, so they do this whole thing where they're watching it, and they do kind of what they do in Last Jedi, where the Holdo maneuver, where the sound cuts out of the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, the same thing. It's like building up the music
because he goes into space,
and then he jumps off the cliff, and then it just goes quiet, right? So everyone in the theater's like quiet. The sound cuts out, and then you just hear a lady go, "Oh my god!"
There were quite a few elderly people at our theater.
That's awesome.
It was like
cool. We were like the youngest people. Everyone else was like 60 and up.
You guys went on a Tuesday evening.
We went, Tuesday evening, early bird special. But it was just really funny. But that, I was impressed by, even knowing that was going to happen. Yeah. There's still the magnitude of seeing it on the big screen and how it works in the movie is just really cool. Yeah. So you're right. Like, Tom Cruise knows what he's doing. And you just appreciate kind of the love he has for making those kind of movies. The other thing I'll say that I really like about this movie, and I mentioned it to Mick when we got out, is I said, there's not, like, he did this in Maverick as well. Like, there's female characters, and they don't waste time, like, having this moment where she's like, I've always been looked down on because I'm a woman, and let me do this kind of, like, let me prove against all these men, like, how I'm better. It's just like, no, these characters are you just assume they're good at what they do, and they just show you that they're good at it. And you don't need to have like an explanation as to why they have a chip on their shoulders. And it just works really well. Like, you just believe that these characters are good at what they do, right? And so Haley Atwell's from the beginning. She just shows up and she's competent, and she doesn't have this attitude that, like, I'm better than everyone else. It's kind of like they complement each other really well. And that's the same thing he did in Top Gun Maverick. Yeah. There's a female pilot, and you just assume, oh, she's one of the best. And they don't need to have a scene where she's like challenging other men or saying like, oh, I've always been looked down upon. It's just like, no, you're a strong female character, and your actions speak louder than words, you know? And so I just think that works really well in this movie, because there's like 3 or 4 females in this movie that have kind of important parts and like action scenes that isn't heavy-handed. It just really works. Mm-hmm. And the strength of that is because they're just put in there and written well. Yeah. And competently, and it's not like let me make a statement. It's just like, no, they're just good at what they do. And I just wish more movies did that.
Yeah. Yeah, all the characters felt very well written and very like vulnerable to their own like shortcomings.
Yeah.
Like nobody feels perfect and untouchable in the movie. Even like the bad guy has a couple moments where it's like, well,
Yeah.
all right.
The only guy that is that there are moments where you're just like, that's just a shot to make Tom Cruise look good. It's Tom Cruise.
Oh yeah, I mean
Like,
he's the star. He's got to do some
There's
stuff.
several moments where they're like, oh, we got him, and then this like cuts to him and he's like, pulls his glasses off and you're like, yeah, that's just the
There was
just
some
money
there was
shot.
some really good humor in it too.
Yeah, that's-
and it's humor that is like perfect for this type of movie where it doesn't cheapen the characters or anything. It doesn't take away from the story. It fits in perfectly with the narrative where like I could believe that happening and that situation is just funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and it's not every 30 seconds. It's like
no.
It's they pick and choose when the levity comes. And that's what, my biggest complaint with Marvel or other action movies has been that it's been so much like, hey, we need a joke every 30 seconds. And after a while they fall flat. But this one, you're right. It has like some really funny moments that really landed with people. I don't laugh in theaters. I mean, I don't laugh in movies a lot,
You
but
say, "Haha."
the people around me were laughing a
I
lot.
do sometimes.
That's funny.
And it's really bad.
But you're right. It worked really well. And it's because the characters, they don't all have the same sense of humor. Like they're written, like Simon Pegg's character has a sense of humor that's different than Ethan Hunt's. Like it's just...
It's not like Guardians of the Galaxy where everyone makes the same jokes
Yes.
over and over again.
Yeah, everyone's just
sarcastic.
quips and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that. It's just written well. I'd say go watch it in theaters. I think
definitely.
it's definitely one of those movies that is worth watching on the big screen. The sound is great. The action is awesome. The train sequence at the end, some people are saying it reminded them
Or at the beginning
Uncharted.
or at the middle. It could be anywhere in the movie.
Spoiler. This is spoiler free.
That's not a spoiler.
Oh, great. That's a
said it-
spoiler. I know there's a train sequence.
There's a chain sequence in every Mission Impossible, it seems.
That's true, actually.
That train sequence had some really cool stuff that I thought was really well done, really well choreographed. The other thing I'll say, the last thing is this movie has several callbacks to the first one.
Oh,
not
definitely.
as in like let
like
me
poetry or
remember the first one. No, it's like it felt like scenes that were shot like in a really similar way, and it totally reminds you of the first one, which I thought worked really well for someone who hasn't seen the first one in a long time. I immediately remembered certain scenes from that first movie, and they do it really well. I assume it was on purpose.
Oh yeah,
but
I would say
it works really well.
Because it's like, hey, wait a second. Did you realize this looks exactly
guys,
the same?
you won't believe what's happening here.
Like, because it's not like hitting you over the head with it. Like in other movies, they'll like purposely show you a flashback, and then show that scene. They don't do that. You just feel, and like I said, I haven't seen that movie in years, and immediately I was like, oh,
even the way like it was shot, they were very similar, like just blocking and framing of characters that is pretty much straight from the first movie.
It was good. Let's give our rating for it.
I want to say something first though.
Okay.
As to your comment about the James Bond thing, I think we're right. I think we're in the
it's not a hot take.
I don't think so. Especially with
It's the right
with the
take.
last few movies, I feel like it just never reached like the. And maybe I'm probably a little biased. I've never been a huge fan of James Bond, but just I feel like the height of James Bond was like late mid 90s or something, like with maybe Casino Royale. Casino Royale is pretty good, but I just feel like it hasn't consistently been like on an upward tick. I think all the Mission Impossible movies, except for 2, have been just getting better and better. And I can't say that about James Bond that much.
What would you say, Josh?
I think I would say I enjoy the Mission Impossible movies more, but it's hard to compare 7 to 30 James Bond movies or however many
And
they
different
have,
Bonds.
and different iterations of it.
Over 50 years?
Right. I guess if you want to compare Daniel Craig, James Bond to
That's probably a
Tom
better
Cruise. It's probably a better comparison.
Yeah.
I would say you're probably right.
Yeah.
I think Ethan Hunt is a more likable character
Yes.
than James Bond is.
Oh,
Because he
definitely.
doesn't have
Definitely.
he doesn't have the womanizing background, you know what I mean, that James Bond has, that it carries with him. They kind of got rid of it a little bit with Daniel Craig, but there's always kind of been that like, oh, you know, I use you to get what I want and then I move on kind of a thing.
Yeah, Ethan Hunt is more.
Ethan
he
Hunt.
loves people and they
Right.
get killed.
Well,
That's right.
Daniel Craig's character loved someone and then.
Yeah, but they
No
copied
spoiler
Ethan
alerts.
Hunt, obviously.
So now he's just in pain for the rest of the
I-
movies.
I think the reason I would go with Ethan Hunt is what you said
Where's he taking you?
on the date. He's more likable, but I do think there's more emotion in his story. And you're right with the whole aspect of there's a different Bond. Like you can, is it the Pierce Brosnan Bond?
Is it Sean Connery?
Is it Sean? You know, but I just feel like having one character going for 7 movies. I also just think from purely an action movie, the action in Mission Impossible is better than in any of the Bond movies. But that's because it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I think it's just the added fact that he does all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, and it's
I think that adds something to it.
it keeps adding to it. But I'm sure people will disagree with us.
Oh.
If you disagree, let us know.
And you're wrong.
And tell us why you disagree. 10-paragraph comment on why we are wrong about Ethan Hunt being better than James Bond. What would you rate it as you're taking a sip of water?
Good time. Oh man, I really liked the movie. I liked it a lot.
I like it a lot.
Like it a lot. Man, I would give it probably a 9.5.
Woo!
Maybe even a little bit more. I'll go with the 9.5 for now.
Okay. I was thinking a 9.5 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys can't have the same score.
9.5. Okay, 9.49.
Dang, that's what I was going to change.
Yeah, it's really good, and I would recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. So yeah, let us know what you thought. If you watched Mission Impossible, let us know in the comments. If you didn't like it, let us know why. We want to discuss it.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to the next thing on the podcast, which is Secret Invasion, episode 4.
4.
Yeah.
Right. This one will have spoilers because it's a TV show, so we're just going to be talking about it every week, so we can't really
Yeah. There's no
tiptoe
dilly
around
here.
it, you know. The episode starts off with the greatest twist we all saw coming.
Yeah.
Right? We all knew that was how the episode was going to open. Like I'm good, and they kind of show a little like flashback of her doing the.
I forget. Did we see her do that before?
We didn't.
Okay.
We just saw her like watching the nurse.
Right. She was
doctor.
watching. She was in that room.
And watching them do that.
And then, which again, it's like really you're just gonna be like, hey, I think they just pulled this lever. I'm gonna do that. But
yeah, that's a
whatever.
pretty big gamble.
Yeah, it seemed a strange choice to be like just straight up be like, we left on a cliffhanger and then let's just instantly resolve it right away.
Yeah.
Was kind of like,
Is it supposed to look like the technology in Iron Man 3?
yeah, I think it's supposed to be, what is it called? X something.
Exoskeleton.
Whatever. It's the power from whatever the lamest villain in.
Yeah, the
real Mandarin?
the fake Mandarin.
Yeah.
So dumb.
So it's supposed to look like that.
Oh, I almost had it. I can't remember what it's called.
Ectoplasm.
What do you guys think of the rest of the episode, though? Besides that, because I felt you're right. That felt kind of lame. I guess we all knew it was coming. It was not surprising at all.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought it was one of the better episodes actually because we had a little more action.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the stuff with him and his wife. I kind of wish they would have
Killed each
made
other.
the decision that he made the decision to kill her. I thought that
And
would
she didn't.
Yeah,
That
I
would've
thought
been
that would have been more like of a gut punch instead of being like, we both didn't kill each other. No, okay, let's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Ooh, you're dark.
I just want to do this dark and gritty Marvel. Let's go. But I thought that the conversation they had was good, and like the build up to that decision I thought was well done. I just kind of wish they would have made a decision instead of being like, oh,
it just kind of seemed like a cop out.
yeah. I would have liked a harder decision there. The stuff with Rhodey seemed kind of it's kind of just like, okay, like we already knew, like it's not like it's a huge surprise. It's like, oh, he's a Skrull.
And when did it happen?
And now you have to explain, like at what point is Rhodey just like chilling in his basement somewhere? Because it seems like the president's been around him.
Or was he always a Skrull?
Right, exactly. But yeah, I thought that stuff was good, and the action was good. Aside from, I was a little confused with the dynamics of like, how they killed Talos. Yeah. I was like, how did he get that angle on him? Because he was like right behind him, and they seemed to make it. They were like, oh, we're switching people, but it's like you still have to walk across.
Yeah, the blocking and like everything in that
it
scene
didn't
was
make
like
any
really
sense.
It was confusing. Like, wait, what side of the gunfight are they on?
Yeah, exactly. Because they seemed to just be able to sneak around behind them, no problem, even though they were shooting at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
it came out. It was really badly done.
Yeah, so that's the one thing that I was kind of like, whatever. Like we got some action, and it just seemed kind of.
Well, and that's the other thing. What are the chances that he's not dead? Like that they do another fake.
Well, here's the thing.
Death.
This is the third death in a row where they're literally lying in the same position, and we zoom out. And it's like this is the third time we've done
like
it.
Rogue One all over again.
Exactly.
Everyone dies with an explosion. The same way.
Stop.
Yeah, I feel like when you do that, even if it shot, I know some people will be like, oh well, it's parallels, but I'm like,
there's poetry.
But when you do it.
Every episode at the end of the episode.
And it just feels like I've seen this before. And then now I'm like, well, is he really dead? Or is it going to be like, well, he had the thing too, like the whatever. He's a Super Skrull too, or whatever the case may be. I just feel like it's been done. It's lazy, and you have the same shot with Nick Fury being like, I've seen this the 3 times, like, or it's 2 times.
This is another thing that I was like, if you care so much about your friend, go get him. You literally were like, I'll be back for you in a second.
Yeah.
And then he even made a joke afterwards, like, I got my own ride. I'm like, stop making jokes.
Yeah.
Get the car and get out of there, or go get your friend. It seemed very like that doesn't. I should have felt more in that moment. Like, but Nick Fury was telling me that I shouldn't worry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was no urgency for him aside from him being like, no, let me get the president. You know, it's like there was no, felt like there was no emotion there.
Yeah.
And like, I'm supposed to believe that you guys are like, we're friends, best buds.
Yeah, friends for like 30 years.
There's been this dynamic back and forth between them. And then at your death scene, I'm just kind of like, why didn't you grab him? Like, okay. So it seemed like a definitely missed opportunity.
That would have been a perfect opportunity for like a show of how much he cared about him to choose him dying over saving the president.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that would have been like, you can't get a more important person in the government to go for and save. And then you choose your friend over it. That would have been way more of an impact.
Well, I think here's the problem. I think what's happened, and this is part of even why these shows aren't doing so well, like people have lost interest, is because they're so, and this has been my problem with Marvel for a while in their movies, is they're so done by formula. Like, these are the shots we need. And so you can tell, perfect example is this show, they're like, we need to establish that Nick Fury and Talos have a relationship. So the first time they see each other, they're going to, oh, my friend, and they put their heads, and embrace each other, and they're like, all right, we got that scene. Let's move on to the next thing. Now we need to have a scene where they're bickering and fighting. Okay, so we'll do that. And they talk about, oh, well, you're like a married couple kind of thing. Okay, we got that. So it just seems like they're throwing these scenes out there that are generic, like, oh, we got to check that off the list. And when you do that and you don't really do the legwork to make people feel something about these characters, it's not genuine, then when those scenes happen and you're supposed to feel something, it's like, oh, I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I think it's even similar with
Don't say Rogue One.
No, in the show with his wife. I think that scene at the beginning of the episode with her was good, but all leading up to that, there wasn't a moment where like there were good enough scenes where you felt like that scene at the end where she gets the gun and you hear Rhodey like, you know what you have to do, right? And everyone's like, oh my gosh, no, she's gonna betray him. But I'm like, to me it never felt like there was any legwork done that I was concerned about that relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's the problem when you don't do a good enough job with the character development, and it's just kind of like generic scenes that you kind of shoot and throw in there. You don't feel anything when the moments are supposed to hit, and that's a problem. And that's been my problem with a lot of Marvel movies. It seems like, oh, these are the scenes we need to get because that's what the script says. But there's not really any thought or emotion put into it.
Yeah, we got the dialogue again of Fury hasn't been the same since the blip.
Again.
How many times are they going to tell us
he's
that?
like, you're old and you don't get it anymore. I'm just like, okay. And again, the other thing that's driving me nuts is there's 2 episodes left. They almost tried to kill the president of the United States, and you're still not going to reach out to the Avengers or anything?
Well, who's around, though?
Well,
I think that's
Captain
the problem.
America.
Like,
we don't know who's like what is going on right now.
Yeah.
Like Captain America, right, is the only one potentially, I guess.
Ant-Man is around. He just went to the quantum realm. Doctor Strange is around, and he has his eye.
No, Doctor Strange is. Isn't he off with Charlize Theron?
Yeah. Well, we don't know. She just showed up and said, "Oh, we might have to do this," but that's a post-credit scene. We don't know if that takes place.
That's not canon. We don't know what time it takes place.
Spider-Man's around, but no one knows it's Peter Parker now. Captain Marvel's around.
Is she?
Well, yeah, they have a movie coming out when they're.
Well, we don't know.
Is she in space?
She's in space.
I think that's the problem, though. Like, it's just not clear what the state is of everything.
People have mentioned the Avengers. Like, the fact that they've mentioned the Avengers and said, like, well, we don't want them to call the Avengers. And then the guy's like, well, we can basically control the Avengers because now we're Super Skrulls. Or even Rhodey says stuff like, oh, the Avengers are busy. Hulk is around. We don't know what kind of Hulk he is. Like, can you turn into
Actually, Hulk and his son are around.
She-Hulk is around.
She-Hulk is around. Hey, get She-Hulk on the phone.
Where's Daredevil?
He's around too.
Come on.
So that's what I'm saying.
You would think that at least they'd call Captain America.
I don't care if they call Batman, whoever, bring Superman in. It's just weird to me that you've created this whole aspect where it's like the Avengers, they're a thing now. There's Avengers Tower. There's all this kind of stuff. And then
they're subleasing it out to somebody
where you don't. It's like, we can't spend this much money. Or Nick Fury's like, I can do this myself. It's like, come on. It's a big plot hole for me. And the whole aspect of, well, we don't know who's around. It's like, well, I guess Shang-Chi should be around after the ring.
That is true.
Right?
And that takes place in the past.
I liked that movie.
Yeah, and I like him so much. Where is he?
Aquafina with that bow that can
I love
kill
Aquafina.
Oh, that's true. Aquafina should show up. Where's Wong at?
See, they're all they're around.
Wong showed up in
the new Black Panther.
He showed up in like every other show, hasn't he?
The new Black Panther. Shuri's around.
Mm.
So that to me it just seems
she's not vaxxed. So.
That's true. I'm calling no vax. It's weird to me. Like you've established this whole universe, and now it's like, yeah, conveniently no one's around.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous to me.
Did it bother you in Shazam 2 when they were dealing with stuff?
I didn't watch Shazam 2.
Oh, okay.
But it probably would because Shazam 2. And
no, but I'm just saying, like, all this stuff is going on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a similar idea.
It's a little different, though, when you've had a whole universe that's been established over 30 movies.
Right, you have like 30 heroes that could potentially show up. Where's Hawkeye at?
Yeah, and they've said stuff like, where's Thor at? Doesn't Thor have a daughter now?
Yeah, but he's in space with her.
Okay, where are the Guardians of the Galaxy? Isn't Rocket Raccoon
I don't know.
around?
Volume 3.
They said they're busy because they don't want to give you a backstory on where every single one of them are in the movie.
Next time they should give us a list. But they should. Nick Fury should pull up and be like, "Who am I going to call? Nope, he's doing this. Hawkeye is saving this person right now. He's undercover, and then we're like,
he
okay.
has his own show right now. He's about to film a movie.
Yeah.
It just
He's like,
seems
you will see him in the next.
when you build up the stakes to be so big, like right now, it's like
Right.
the world.
The
is being
Skrulls could
invaded.
be anywhere.
There's millions of us.
They're
And
killing the
over
president of the United
UN,
States.
They've taken over the UN. They've taken over presidencies of other countries. Like this is a full on invasion. And the group that you have that is supposed to protect the Earth from these things, you're just like, we're not even going to bring them up. We're not even going to call them. That to me just seems like a big.
He's called the Ghostbusters at least.
Exactly. And Paul Rudd's in there. Ant-Man's in there himself. So like two birds with one stone. It's just weird to me. And so my question is, what are you going to do at the end? How are you going to
what's the
solve
end
this?
game here?
Like, are you just going to
I
have
already did that.
one of those characters show up at the end and be like, yeah, I'm going to kill that guy, and now we're all good? It's like, okay, well, that seems kind of a lazy way to...
I feel like this show has it has the perfect opportunity to feel like have you guys played Resistance? Like, who's the spy type of thing? Like, you can only trust yourself. Like, I feel like the show could be just doing that to the audience, and I'm just not getting that. And I think, like, if they had said in the show, like, no, we don't want to call the Avengers because we don't even know if we can trust them right now with all this Skrull stuff going on. Like, even like some example of that would, I think, go a long way to be like, yeah, I don't know who we can trust in all of this.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a missed opportunity to not have you second guessing everything.
Yeah.
Like,
I just
Nick
feel
Fury's
every-
just kind of
every
like,
character's
oh,
like, yeah, I know.
he's a Skrull.
Yeah.
And my buddy's a Skrull. But at no moment is he like, we can't call them. Like, we don't know if they're part of it. Like, you don't feel that paranoia, which I think you should feel
Exactly. Yeah.
in a show like this. That's
Well,
kind of like a spy thriller. You should be like, I can't trust anybody. Let's prove to me that you're not a Skrull.
Right.
And then we know that we're on the same team, and then we can go
Yeah.
out from there. That's just kind of like, oh,
They're just
Skrulls out there.
Yeah.
This guy, what's his name? Garvin? Garrick? What's his name?
I don't know.
I'm gonna stick with Garvin.
Garvin. Okay. Garvin works.
What's the guy that's gonna drive me nuts? But yeah, like, we know he's the bad guy.
Gallic? That's not right, is it?
Gaelic.
But yeah, so it just seems like a missed opportunity. And we've got 2 episodes left, and I doubt we're gonna be like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like, I think they've tried to do that, but it hasn't been effective.
Again, it's been done poorly. And when the opening of the series gives you that feel, like, they use the AI art and it's like, oh, half their face is there and half, like with everybody, like they're trying to give you that feeling in the opening credits of it, of like, oh, who's bad and who's good. And it's been poorly done. Like, we even talked about whether his wife was like, oh, did he know? It's like they kind of leave that there and then, oh, let's answer that in the first thing.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
you could have left that a little. Same thing with Ross. Like, oh, you kill him, he's done. It's just everything they do is not like a slow burn. It's just kind of like, ooh, guess what? We're gonna shock you with this, and then resolve it in the next 5 minutes. So it doesn't leave you with any like questioning or anything. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's another one of those Marvel kind of, again, like paint by numbers kind of, this is what we need to do, and so let's kind of do it, but it's not really done in a good way or well done. So I don't know. I'm kind of just like, meh.
Yeah, it's a show that definitely had a lot of potential, and it just is not.
Yeah, I don't think
It's not
delivering.
getting there. Yeah, disappointing.
Crystal, your opinion on the show?
I'm glad it's not doing well.
That's
I won't
right.
support anything right now that supports AI art.
Oh, take
That's
that,
fair.
Disney.
Take that, Disney and Marvel.
Yeah,
But we'll still take your check. Anything else you guys want to say on?
No, I think that's
No.
2 episodes left. We'll see what how they wrap it up.
Yep.
yeah. I think I'm still watching the show just to finish it at this
Yeah.
point. Like, I think.
I'm still interested to see how it resolves, but
Yeah.
like, I feel like it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Like there was a chance there to do something kind of special and different, and it's just been kind of like a Marvel spy show. You know what I mean?
But not a good one.
Not a good, yeah. Because I mean, I guess Winter Soldier.
Where's the Winter Soldier?
Is in that
Isn't he
vein.
around too? Can't get him to come and help?
Can he?
Is he around?
Of course he is. He's the Winter Soldier.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, unless the next 2 episodes are just incredible.
Is Moon Knight going to show up?
Can he?
No. Here's the other thing. Don't we have a ton of Black Widow assassins at the end of Black Widow?
Who controls those? Though?
That are all good now because they got liberated by Black Widow.
Oh, dude,
And don't we have at the end of Shang-Chi a bunch of ninja woman assassins that are all the daughters the Mandarin took over and now they're like helping?
But they're
don't
focused.
we have a bunch of groups of just massive ninja women that can come and help?
Why are they going to help America though?
Because
Those dirty capitalists? No, thank you. That's why.
I'm just saying.
Everyone
I feel
hates
like
America, dude.
At the end of, I feel like at the end of all these movies, they have,
and they're
now
all
there's these,
and they're all
now
doing
we got
their own
these.
thing. That is true. At the end of Shang-Chi, there is.
Yeah, there's that.
I forgot about that.
And at the end of Black Widow, there's like, yeah, no, we're liberated now.
Yeah, where's whatever her face is, Florence Pugh,
Yeah.
sister.
What is it?
She-
Yeah,
the
where are the
Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts?
Yelena.
Yeah,
Yelena,
where are the
yeah.
Thunderbolts in all this? Come on.
I guess they have.
They've been
They
introduced.
had
yet.
that other Captain America that killed people, and then he's fine.
They could have. Did he die?
No.
No,
He's
bring
in,
him back.
He's in the new
Thunderbolts.
show.
Yeah, bring him back.
Yeah.
Or
See?
He can help the president.
See, plot holes galore. Anyways, that's going to be our discussion on Secret Invasion. We're going to move on to something that Crystal can talk about finally. So we had some trailers that came out this week. Let's start with the one that we're most excited for, the Ahsoka trailer. We all got to see it. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I need
Yes.
you guys to
Yeah,
I need some
sorry.
feedback here.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought you
yeah.
were telling us.
No. It was a question mark. We've all seen it. It was kind of funny because it dropped the day after we did the podcast.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting a trailer, but this trailer's awesome. I can't wait for the show. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best Star Wars content we've ever had.
That's
what
right.
I'm saying. It
Get out
right
of here,
now.
New Hope.
Oh.
It's
Get out of here, The
gonna
Last
be-
Jedi.
It's going to be better than
Yeah.
the Jedi, better than Empire Strikes Back. Dave Filoni, the GOAT, is going to deliver an Ahsoka show that's going to be awesome. What did you guys think of the trailer? Crystal, what did you think of the trailer?
Let it rip.
It was amazing. I am kind of an emotional person. So I'm, if I really like something or like really happy, I'll tear up. And I was like tearing up and had to watch it multiple times. It was so good. Yeah. I'm super excited for Sabine because Ahsoka's my favorite character in Star Wars, but Sabine is up there in one of my favorites as well. So I'm really excited for her and Ahsoka to be in it. And then Hera, I'm assuming her son.
Yeah,
He's in the Lego set, so he's got to be in it.
Hopefully Zeb, I'm guessing, will show up. Hopefully.
I feel like
think
he's
so.
off doing his own thing, though.
The fact that they had him in the last
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
I feel like he'll be in.
But wasn't he with the Resistance or?
He was,
I don't-
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, it's just that show is just so good. Rebels is so good, and like everyone keeps saying, like this is season 5 of Rebels.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. So one of the things we got in the trailer was the reveal, because this wasn't something Rebels fans knew, but that Sabine
Oh yeah, that
was
really cool.
You think so?
Ahsoka's,
oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
right? Because
Yeah,
she
yeah.
calls her master. Now, here's a question. Will Sabine have force powers
I don't know.
eventually? Because
I think she might eventually.
they put that line in there where she's like, you don't have any power
Yeah.
or whatever, and then she ignites the lightsaber. So
Probably has a low midichlorian account.
I
Yeah.
mean, to me, it's kind of like, well, why not? Like,
I said midichlorian account. Sure,
You got to check my Metachlorian account.
debit card. So, what do you guys think they'll give her force abilities? To me, it seems like there's a reason why Ahsoka would train her. I know she's used the Darksaber, so she's had that. But it seemed to be a little more than just like, oh, I'm just going to, I'll be your master and train you. Why, if you wouldn't have like force potential?
Yeah.
Well, she's force sensitive, right? Because she's Mandalorian.
Not necessarily.
Oh, I thought I read that somewhere that the Mandalorians technically had some like affiliation
Well,
with the
it depends on
force.
which one. Like, what is it? Tor Vizsla was a Jedi Mandalorian. But yeah, so it's not necessarily like, yeah. She did have the Darksaber and wielded it. So
Yeah.
Kanan talks to her about like being one with the saber and stuff like that. So I guess you could probably assume she's force sensitive in some sort of way, like maybe not entirely, but who knows? I don't know how I feel about her being force sensitive. I feel like it would need to be told or presented in a good way for me to buy in, I think, instead of just being like, it almost just seems like, why not? She's got Ezra's lightsaber.
Yeah.
She's force sensitive. Let's give it to her. So I feel like, which I trust Dave Filoni to deliver on that. Excuse me.
Getting choked up.
Yeah, I know. It's so beautiful. But yeah, so I trust Filoni to deliver on that. But I feel like it would need to be presented in a good way instead of just like, yep, she was training her the whole time. She moved a crate one time, you know.
Yeah.
I think they might be able to work it. She's been around Kanan. She's been around Ezra. And been
Well, it's
around
not contagious.
Ahsoka. No, but I do think there is an element where some people, you know, maybe it's dormant in them. You know, even we talk about The Force Awakens. Like, there's a thing where they've established that where older people can be like, oh, well, I've always had something that I've been like, whether it's I'm a good flyer, like intuition, and they just chalk it up to that. Like, she's able to do stuff with like weaponry and all that kind of stuff. So they could play with that. The other thing that I find, there's kind of a parallel, not to get into this realm of things, but the Force reminds me a little bit about like
The Snyder fan.
exactly. No, I was gonna say they put an emphasis a lot with her, especially with the artistry that she has, right? And for me, the Force seems like that would be something that would play with the Force, as far as like the Force is in everything, the beauty and all that kind of stuff. To me, feels like it's not, why make her an artist and focus on that? Like, they've done her graffiti and all this kind of stuff, the way she's done the armor and all this kind of stuff, the murals. Why play with that just to be like a throwaway thing? I think they could make that be like, no, that's kind of the way the Force presented itself in her was through
That'd be cool.
the art and the talent that she had in that. It was like the Force moving in her, and she always just looked at it as, oh, this is just me doing art. Because there's no one else like in any of Star Wars that is like that. Even in, you look at the Mandalore culture, like where did she learn that? Where did that come from? So I think that might be what they play with, to be like, oh, she's always had something, and the Force manifested itself through like the art or the artistry that she had. So I think they might play with that, and that would be cool.
Yeah, that'd
Also,
be pretty cool.
like wasn't Finn supposed to basically, weren't they kind of playing with the idea of him like coming a Jedi eventually, or being force sensitive? So I don't know why that would be any different. Like, he's older.
Yeah.
And
He's very
hasn't.
attuned to know where radio towers are.
And his long lost sister was the same way. She had right? Didn't they play something with that? Or was that cut from the movie?
I think I don't know. They might mention it in the novel, but I don't know.
I think it might have been in the novel.
Because I'm sure it's not like, oh, if you don't know when you're a baby, then it's
Aged
never
out.
going to happen. You know?
Yeah. So
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if she had that. And then that just brings another, I mean, a Mandalorian that's force sensitive. Come on. That's cool. Anything else in the trailer that you guys thought? Obviously, the reveal of seeing Thrawn was cool. I think it's what?
He looks really cool, but someone said he looks like Elon Musk, and I can't get it out of my head. I can't get it out of my head. I'm sure he's going to be awesome. But yeah, just in that shot, I was like, yeah, it just looks like good old Elon over there.
I think the fact that it's the same voice will really help a lot.
And that's cool. I like when they do that.
Yeah.
So he's the only one that's carried over from the show.
Chopper.
Yeah, Chopper.
And
yeah.
he said he's doing his voice.
Isn't that Dave
different, though.
Filoni that does
yes?
Chopper?
Yeah, he said that in live action he's decided to do it a little different. It's not going to be the same voice.
Hey guys, how's it going?
He's going to
I
sound like
doubt
Elon
that.
Musk.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, so there's that. I thought there were some, again, Balin and I can't remember what the girl's name is. But I thought their lines were cool when he's like, "We are no Jedi," and
Yeah.
that
Kind of a
that was
flip
cool.
on Ahsoka's line.
Yeah, so that was cool, and also the line where he's like, "Anakin talked about you."
Yeah.
That was cool because I'm like, okay, there's a history there. They know each other. That's going to be cool, and I'm just excited for the amount of times that even just they reference Anakin, and Rosario Dawson already does a really good job of like you see the pain in her eyes, like that's already cool. And they did such a good job in animation with Ashley Eckstein's voice and the animation of it. So the fact that Rosario Dawson's already nailing those, I'm just like, man, if you have a flashback to Anakin and de-aging him or whatever, that's gonna be cool. Like, give me a Clone Wars era moment, make me cry. Come on, do it, Dave. I dare you.
Well, when she like has the line where she talks about like I left Anakin, and then she's like, and I left Sabine, and I just, like immediately was picturing when she walks away
Yeah.
from him in the Jedi Order, and I was just like, oh, this is gonna be heartbreaking. Like it's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
I already know this is gonna be my favorite Star Wars show.
Even if
Ever.
it sucks, it's going to be her favorite.
Well, who were we were talking to someone about that the other day, and they were like, "Well, how can you know that?" And I was like, Ahsoka and Anakin are my favorite characters, my favorite Star Wars characters, and like they're gonna bring stuff up
Yeah.
from that, and it's Ahsoka, so it's like there's no way that this show disappoints me.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe it's impossible.
And it's Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
So
Like he created her character, so it's not he can't mess her up because you know he's writing her story, and yeah, it's gonna be so good.
yeah. The other thing I thought was interesting, what do you guys think, is there's the scene where Hera's talking to the New Republic and Mon Mothma's there. Do you guys think this will be one of our predictions?
Ooh,
Do you
little
guys
tease.
think they'll have Leia in one of those things? Because she should be around there
Yeah.
at that time with the New Republic.
Yeah, because I guess depends on where they place it, but she hasn't She
Well,
shouldn't have broken off yet.
And here's the you're right.
What is her position in the Republic right now?
What is
Leia's,
Leia's?
yeah.
Is she a general?
She's a general.
Yeah.
I think. But at this point, she's still with Han Solo.
Oh, so this is before Bloodlines.
This is before Bloodline. No,
It would technically be, I think, before
Isn't
Bloodline.
Bloodline just right, like not that much before Force
no,
Awakens?
it should be after because she just had Ben Solo in that one, doesn't she? I think Ben Solo is going to be older, and
You're saying
But in Bloodlines is when everybody finds out
Captain
that
America around though?
Vader is her
right.
father. I thought
Yeah,
she
but
wasn't
she's
with.
still.
I thought she
she's still
wasn't
part of
with Han
that.
Solo at
She's
that
still part of that New Republic. Yeah,
She's still part of the New Republic at that point, and that's I think
and she's still with Han Solo, but he's racing at that
Oh,
time
okay.
because he doesn't want to deal with all the like political stuff. But I think this would be a perfect opportunity to throw her in there in a hologram. You can get away with it, like in that
Yeah.
same scene. Like to me, it's like throw her in there. She can be played by her daughter and just do the facial stuff.
Or the actress from Obi-Wan.
There you go.
age her up.
Age her up. But anyway,
could put her on stilts.
That was one of the things I thought. I was like, okay, Mon Mothma's around. You would think Leia would be around if they're trying to say, hey, something's going down. That
pretty
might
cool.
be interesting. And then I think it would be interesting to have Ahsoka have interactions with Anakin's kids. She's already had an interaction with Luke. And then to have in this show her have an interaction with Leia, I think would be a good way to tie in and connect them.
Well, plus you have the connection of she knew Bail Organa too,
Right.
which would be kind of cool.
So to me, it's like that would be, there's a way to do it. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but just have them have a conversation similar to what they had with Luke, where he's like, "You remind me of him." Like that line in Book of Boba Fett. You're like,
made Book of Boba Fett worth it.
Where she's like, so much like your father, right? Like that to me was like, that was so good. If you have something like that with an interaction with Leia, I mean, chef's kiss. Dave Filoni, chef's kiss. So I think that might be something that we get in this series.
So do you guys think that, what's her name? Morgan Elsbeth? You think she's a Night Sister? Because when she was doing the thing,
I think she is, yeah.
There was like a little green light from the bottom. The girl that was in The Mandalorian.
She was the girl in The Mandalorian.
She fought Ahsoka.
And she's like, "Where's Thor?"
She has the
She has the tattoos.
She did
the
look
trailer.
like a Night Sister.
I think she's got the tattoos. I thought they confirmed that.
So not in the show, somebody like the costume designer on Twitter was like, "A design I made. She's one of the last Night Sisters." Like that's what she said. That's what she said.
that would be cool.
But it was never confirmed, and I think she ended up deleting it. But it was just like the artist that was like, "Oh, cool! It's cool to see my design in here. This is the concept behind it." So I don't think they confirmed it.
For some reason, I thought someone at Celebration also said something like that.
Well, not official.
But yeah, I think she's a Night Sister, and I think that would make a lot of sense with stuff they've said about, because Dave Filoni said in an interview about where Thrawn is, the Force works differently. And so to me, it's like, that's the Night Sisters. He's like, it's more magic. And I was like, that's exactly what the Night Sisters are.
Yeah,
so I'm
Night
like, maybe where Thrawn is where the Night Sisters originated from, right? And then they went to Dathomir. So I'm like, it seems like a Dave Filoni thing to do, to be like, oh, let me introduce this kind of different view of the Force. It's more like magic and stuff like that. To me, it seems like a no-brainer for Dave Filoni to do. Yeah, that would be cool.
I think it'd be cool. And then I feel like Thrawn, every time he's lost, it's like he's lost to something he doesn't know. Like he's so calculating. It's like the space whales showed up. It's like all things related to like things he can't account for. So the fact that he would be like, maybe I want to ally myself with somebody that's connected to something I don't understand, that I can't quantify or understand through science, like would make sense for his character.
And think about this, because we know that Dave Filoni is doing a movie that's going to wrap up the Mandoverse, his Ahsoka show. To me, it's like, if you're making a movie, what threat would you need that would be a threat to Luke at this time, right? Because Luke's around, and you've got the New Republic that hasn't completely gotten rid of all their stuff, but you need to have a big threat. I was like, Night Sisters, right? Like, where does he get an army of people? I mean, the Night Sisters brought people back to life. Like, they had zombie Night Sisters and all this kind of stuff. So would that be something that you're like, Thrawn is with the Night Sisters and they...
Break back Darth Maul.
You know, to me, it would just be something cool to see in a movie. And you're like... And it's kind of a little far-fetched, but it's Star Wars. Like, if you watch the Clone Wars... and Rebels, there's some weird stuff in there. And I think Dave Filoni would totally do it. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Do you think Ezra's going to be good?
Oh, yeah.
Do you not?
Well, the only thing that made me question it is I'd have to watch this trailer again, but I think Sabine like touches his face on the mural. And I don't know if this happens at the same time, but Ahsoka says something about needing to put aside her feelings and do what's right. And it could have been referring to anything, but I just was wondering if that was, if she was meaning that about Ezra.
I think she's meaning it more towards like they have a problem with each other. So she's like, put aside your feelings of me, like you don't like me.
That would make sense.
But we need to go to get this done and work together. I think that's what they were referring to. Because I think.
Would you be upset if he was bad?
I think I trust Dave Filoni enough to be able to do it. But I don't think he's going to make Ezra bad. Ezra's too good of a character to go bad, I think. I just think he's going to be like riding on whales and like he's going to have an army of Lothcats that he just throws at people and they're just like, shee. A wave of Lothcats he's just going to roll on.
that shot of them flying through the Purgle was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It was cool to kind of see them
That
up
was
close.
really cool. I actually like those.
Yeah,
so
Purgle's fine.
I know
I
some
like them
people
too.
didn't like them, but
Those are just haters.
I think that's awesome. I was excited when I saw that scene. Well,
Yeah, let's move on to another trailer, Willy Wonka. We're going to talk about this trailer because
Did you not watch it?
because
does this have Timothy Chalamet?
Yes.
in it?
That's right.
Oh, well, then
Yes.
it's going to be great.
and let me tell you this. When I first heard that my boy Wonka was being remade and they hired Timothy Chalamet, I was like, no, you can't do this. And many people told me, wait till the trailer. Wait till you see how he sounds. And he sounds terrible. He sounds stupid. He sounds dumb. He doesn't sound like Willy Wonka at all. And I am very disappointed. The best part of this trailer was Hugh Grant at the end.
As a Loompa Loompa.
That was the best thing.
What does he say? Like when I start dancing,
And he's like, I can't stop. That was the best thing. But I don't know why they picked my boy Timothy. Because
You hate
they just
him.
picked him because he was the popular guy at the time. And he was in everything.
I mean, they couldn't pick The Rock. Who do you want them to pick?
The guy from The Bear that looks exactly like Gene Wilder.
So if he looks exactly like him, it doesn't mean he can act well.
He looks exactly like him. He's the young guy.
It's the same thing with Han Solo. It's like, oh, they could have picked that guy from Love in the Age of whatever. He looks just like him. And it's
Okay.
like, oh,
I
no,
would've
he
probably-
doesn't act like him,
But
though.
did you watch the trailer? Did Timothy Chalamet act like him? Flip it, reverse it. Oh my
he
God.
acted like him. His voice doesn't match. I will give you that. His voice doesn't fit, but his mannerisms, he acts like Willy Wonka.
But
I
Johnny,
trust
voice
his
doesn't
opinion.
Johnny Depp didn't sound anything
Yeah.
like Gene
Well, that
Wilder.
movie's terrible. I never watched
Yeah,
it.
so
So did he seem like he was a better Willy Wonka
Oh, he's
than Johnny
playing.
Depp?
He's playing the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka. You
yeah,
didn't know that?
which version? Is
I
he
would
playing
take
here?
Johnny Depp
No.
over, yes.
I've seen like 5 seconds of that movie,
Well, you
and I was
haven't
like,
seen
that's
it.
I
disturbing.
never saw that movie.
5
I
seconds is
actually
too
watched it. I
much.
actually watched it the other night because Maya was watching it. It doesn't.
I'm gonna wait.
matter.
I'm gonna wait to reserve.
The point is,
Don't tell me to
we're not
stop.
talking about Johnny Depp here because Johnny Depp did his own thing. This is supposed to be a prequel to the Gene Wilder Willy
Is it?
Wonka, and the fact that
Where
it's
is it actually?
yeah,
Oh,
and so the fact that it's that's why the Oompa Loompas look that way, and
I just thought that's what Oompa Loompas look like.
Have you seen an Oompa Loompa that looks
not
different?
in the
Yeah.
Johnny Depp one.
Do they
They're
look different?
Indians.
That's a
They're
different,
Indian Oompa Loompas.
I don't know if we can say that.
Yeah, they're the Indian actor, that guy that's in all the Indian movies.
I have no. I don't know. I didn't see the movie. I don't know.
You guys should see it.
The Indian
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
The Oompa Loompa
Slumdog
parts
Millionaire.
in the Oompa Loompa parts in that movie are insane, creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, why are you letting Maya watch that, dude?
Because she liked it. She went to watch the play, and then she wanted to watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Anyways, it's just why it's just not good.
It's just hard to believe you when I know how much you hate him.
Yeah, but
there's a
you
lot of
should-
bias
You should watch.
There is a lot of bias.
You watched the trailer, and you were like, "Yeah, his voice isn't it. That's not it."
I watched the trailer and I was like, who asked for this movie in the first place? So
Wonka fans,
I'm like, who
this
cares?
guy.
Is this? Are they taking stuff from the book at all, or is this completely just?
There was a book? No.
I don't know.
I have-
It's just
I have
the-
no
it's
idea.
how he became the chocolate.
Yeah.
tier.
So he's going up
how
against
he became the chocolate.
chocolatier.
he's going up against the
The chocolate
mafia or
Yeah.
something. There's like 6 families that run the chocolate factories in this town, and that's how he
It's-
tore them down. It's
It
weird,
looks-
dude.
The movie looks actually like
Oh, it's the director of Paddington. It's gonna be fire, dude.
It's gonna be so good.
okay, but it's not because him. It's
Yes.
they picked the wrong dude. That's like if you got Bruce Willis to be the voice of Paddington. That would have ruined that movie.
That's nothing like that. For
Yes.
one, I like
They just totally miscast Paddington.
I
They
like
just
Willy
totally
Wonka and the
mispacked-
Chocolate Factory. Like, it's
Okay.
fine, but it's not like I'm so in love with that movie that I need his younger self to sound
Do you
look like him.
So
I don't
do you
really care.
have like a super fan like attachment to the original movie.
I love the original. I love the Gene
love
Wilder
it?
one. Yes, the Gene Wilder one. So there's certain movies that I remember
Even
watching
that movie
as a kid.
kind of creeped me out,
It
and I
is.
just
The
like,
tunnel
I mean, it's
scene's
fine,
creepy.
but I'm like, I don't really want
There
to
are
watch it all the
certain
time.
movies that I watched as a kid that I love. That's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka, yeah. The Wizard of Oz.
Big fan.
The Wizard of
The
Oz?
Wizard of Oz
Oh,
is
Wizard of
like,
Oz is a great movie.
it's
Christianity.
fantastic. So those movies are just kind of like, and part of it is because when I was a little kid, I used to watch those movies at my Aunt Linda's house, and that's like very fond memories. So I love those.
And
movies.
Timothy Chalamet is burning down my Aunt Linda's house.
Exactly. He has ruined the legacy
Aren't you
of
one
Gene
of those
Wilder.
people that always says you complain about people that say other like the new shows are ruining the old things?
I'm not saying. I'm saying.
You said burning down
Listen,
the memories.
He said that.
And you agreed.
What I'm saying is,
He's not saying
Cotton
the movie
Line.
is.
Saying
He's
is-
saying Timothy Chalamet.
I was
Okay,
kind of
okay.
excited. I was kind of excited for this movie after watching the trailer. I'm not, because he's not a good Willy Wonka, and that's the one thing you needed to
Is
get
that
right.
really fair to say until you've actually watched the movie?
I've watched the trailer, and it's terrible.
Is it just his voice that bothers you?
I don't think he acts like him at all.
I
This is
disagree.
my thing with this is my thing with Charlemagne. I already told
Oh,
you guys.
boy.
He's the what's the girl's name from Twilight?
Bella?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh my
Kristen
God.
Stewart. They
He
are
is
not
not
even
so
like
Kristen
that.
Stewart.
No,
he has the same face and
no.
everything he does. When he's excited, he looks like this, and when he's sad, he looks like this.
No.
And when he's
That's really good
and-
for the audio
and when he's-
podcast.
Yeah, just imagine.
Just imagine the same face.
Imagine a stupid,
No emotion.
boring
Just imagine
face.
Jonah's face.
Imagine Kristen Stewart's face.
It is not the same.
But I mean, we just also saw a Dune trailer too, and
And he
had
has the
plenty
same
of motion. He had
face.
plenty of motion.
Same face.
What? No.
He had plenty.
There's just a little
He
more
was
dust on it.
so
John-
good.
John
in
just
Dune.
doesn't like
That's
Timothy
true.
Chalamet.
You're
Guys,
crazy.
He's biased. He has an agenda.
I could go. I could do this if you're listening at home. Get your phone out. Type his name in Google Images and bring it up, and you'll see that he has the same face in all the pictures. And then you're
Yeah,
like,
because that's all red carpet pictures.
Happy Timothy Chalamet, and it'll be the same face. And it's like, oh, sad Timothy Chalamet, and it'll be the same face. The guy has no range. It's just infuriating.
Yeah, you know, you lose all credibility when you say things like that, Jonah.
Anyways,
I just watched Interstellar. He's great in that. He's not in it that much, but he's really good in that.
Same
And he
face.
was like 12 years old.
Notice that he couldn't do the big scene. They had to get Casey Affleck to be like, hey, can you do this scene because Timothy Chalamet can't handle it. See, he's like, hey, we need a real actor to go up against.
Yeah, they also
McConaughey.
needed him like 20 years older.
Well, tomato.
Okay.
They didn't have aging technology back then.
Anyways, we'll see what Willy Wonka's like. Let's move on. We just wanted to talk really quick. So there's a writer's strike and an actor's strike now. So it's I don't know how long it's going to last, but apparently like they're all picketing and they want more money and they want all this stuff. One of the crazy things that I wanted to bring up though, because you talked about AI art. So apparently the day they went on strike, they said one of the things that they offered them, so Disney and all these big companies, was they wanted to do AI, like pay an actor to come in for a day's work while they'll scan their face, and then those studios would have the rights to that face for eternity, forever, and they wouldn't have to pay them, and they could use them without permission. So you would basically go in, scan your face, and then they would just, when they need background actors, just like throw you in there digitally and never get paid for it again. That's insane to me.
That is.
That's crazy.
I do think there's some things that I'm like, okay, like some of these writers and some of these actors are getting paid a ton of money. So there is kind of a balance there where I'm like, okay, well, again, there's some people that get paid $15 an hour and have a certain job. So what's a fair thing to ask? But I do think when you have Bob Iger making $28 million a year and then saying like, oh, they're asking too much, and he doesn't create anything. Like he just cancels shows, makes decisions, says, oh, let's do this, let's do that. He's not doing creating any of the stuff that he's making money on. That to me is a little ridiculous to be like, or David Zaslav's who's making like something insane, $250 million or something nuts. And then they're not content creators. They're just, we run the company. It just seems like, yeah, why don't you take less money and then you can pay your actors more, especially with Disney where they've done stuff with, effects people that are being overworked and not paid enough. That to me is just kind of icky. So it's just like, it's interesting to see. I don't know how it'll be interesting to see how long this goes. Because one of the CEOs said, we'll just wait them out. It's like once they start losing their houses, once they start losing their like once they start getting into debt and lose their stuff, then they'll come back to the table.
I think he said that like in an article.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're even trying to hide it.
No, he was just straight up like, yeah, we're waiting them out. All of them are coming out and they're like, we've barely recovered from COVID. They're going to ruin the industry. And it's like, well, what's dumb is like, I don't know. You saw the comments of Bob Iger was like, did an interview with CNBC and he was basically like, yeah, they're being unrealistic. And then the guy's like, well, what about their requests are being unrealistic? He's like, I can't tell you. I couldn't tell you.
Figures.
But he's being interviewed at what they call billionaires camp. And it's people call it that, and it's a retreat that all these CEOs go to for like a week or two to
Mark
hang out.
Zuckerberg was there.
Mark Zuckerberg, Zaslav,
private plane.
and so it's like the optics of this, like it's literally I'm down with capitalism, but like the optics of these like fat cats essentially being like, we're here on our billionaires retreat, telling these people like, you're asking for too much. It's like what are you doing?
There's an article came out that was like, he made those comments and then they're like, this comes on the heels that it was just announced that he is having a $280 million yacht built to replace his $180 million yacht that he has. Like, because that doesn't work anymore. So like just stuff like that you're just like, come on, like, the optics are just way off.
And it's tough because I feel like most people are like, these actors are making millions of dollars, but it's like it's a range of actors. Like the actor you think of, like Tom Cruise doesn't need the more money, but it's like all the other actors that are at the bottom of the totem pole that are like, hey, I get gigs every once in a while, and then I bartend the other time
like
of it.
Me as a musician,
exactly,
I'm making the money that
you got to join a union,
like,
bro.
They better start paying up because I play guitar.
I mean, it's like that in any creative field. You have some people that are going to be obviously well-known names and they're making good money, but there's a whole range of people that are very skilled and talented, but they're just getting by.
Right.
So that's ridiculous.
The one thing I will say that I thought was dumb, and that's, again, I have to bring up my favorite people, the Gunn brothers. But so Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, was picketing at Netflix, and he had this whole thing was like, I was on a show called Gilmore Girls, and this show is like one of the most streamed on Netflix, and I don't get any money.
Residuals.
Right. And so he did this whole thing. So now I want Netflix to pay my residuals. Well, people started being like, Netflix doesn't need to pay you residuals because Gilmore Girls is a Warner Brothers show. They need to pay you residuals. Netflix pays a licensing fee,
right?
And then Warner Brothers should pay you out of that licensing. He's like, you're picketing at the wrong place. Netflix just is paying for the license to stream it.
Who is he on Gilmore Girls?
I don't know, but he probably wasn't.
He is in Gilmore Girls.
But who I said, because I don't know the people's actors'
Who's
names.
the annoying, weird, quirky guy?
Sean Gunn.
Ned.
The annoying,
Gibson.
Weird.
He's like a weird.
Guy?
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
Kirk. You mean from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah. That's Sean Gunn.
Kirk is awesome.
But anyways, but he's there picketing. He's there picketing at Netflix,
right.
And I'm like, dude, you should be at Warner Brothers. Oh wait, your brother is a CEO at Warner Brothers. Is one of the heads of the studios. So why are you not gonna picket there? Or why don't you go to Disney? Oh wait, because they put you in their movies. So it's just like that kind of thing is a little hypocritical. It's like, you don't need to be getting money from Netflix when that's not even part of the thing. Like, your residual payments come from the company that made the show. That's who you should go to ask for money.
Yeah.
Netflix has nothing to do with that. They're streaming the show. They're paying a licensing fee. and you need to get paid from that, but Warner Brothers needs to pay you because that money's going to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So those kind of things are things that are a little. It reminds me a little bit when there's stuff like that. It reminds me a little bit of the U.S. women's soccer team, where it's like, well, we should get paid because of what the men are doing. But I was like, there's a different. The men's World Cup makes billions of dollars in revenue. The women's World Cup makes millions. So you're getting paid from different pots. Does that make sense?
I say.
So that to me is those kind of things where it's like you can't just ask for like, well, they're streaming it, so I should get them a cut of it. That's not how it works.
Right.
Also, you would think that you would have negotiated something or had a contract prior. You can't just ask for that later.
Well, the problem is they didn't streaming didn't exist back then.
Oh,
Yeah.
So that's the
okay.
thing is streaming gets invented and it changes everything because it's not the same as like, oh, we sell our rights to this TV station that is going to show the reruns of this Gilmore Girls. Now it's like, oh, it's streaming on this specific streaming.
Well, that's a little different.
But
So
the problem is Netflix is paying that licensing fee to Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers should
it's-
then have
yeah,
to
I get what
pay
you're saying.
Out of that.
that to the actors, and they don't. So it's like you're protesting at the wrong place.
yeah.
So that's another reason why they're striking is they need to figure out fair compensation for all the streaming stuff.
Yeah.
Even writing on shows, like the reason Netflix breaks up TV shows into multiple part seasons is that they don't have to pay them for 16 episode season. You pay them less because it's like, oh, it's only 8 episodes.
Right.
And we're going to call it part 2, but it's still the same season, but it's basically a loophole so that they don't have to pay their writers. So it's all
kinda
it's all
crummy.
like kind of shady, shisty stuff. But it's just because there's a new technology that
Right.
came out of nowhere and no one knew what to do. The same thing happened with music, with streaming and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, I know.
So they just
We
need
need Metallica to step up, say something.
to, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've been saying something for years, guys. Spotify does not. I've made $10.
The only good thing that's come from it is I feel like with the AI stuff with artists, no one's going to listen to them. You know what I mean? Like artists are at the bottom of the barrel
Yeah.
as far as like the creative fields. And now like they just had the Senate hearing and like to kind of discuss what some options would be going forward with AI and everything. And there was one artist, Carla Ortiz, on the panel, and she had a lot of good things to say. But there was also, is it WB
Yeah,
Music?
Warner Bros.
So they had someone high up from there talking, and obviously his opinion is a lot more like respected than, I mean, of course people online are like, oh yeah, she's great, but people are going to respect him and listen to him probably more than her. And like the music industry probably has a lot more power behind it than art.
Yeah.
And so I feel like now that they've threatened with the AI stuff with writers and
actors.
Now it's like, okay, everybody's kind of in of like, we need to be against this. And not against it. Like, I don't even think that AI is just all bad. It's just the way they've dealt with it is super unethical. And they haven't gone about it the right way. But it's like, that's the one good thing I think that's come from it is at least now everybody's kind of all supporting each other in that. So hopefully that makes a difference. I don't know.
I mean, I think I'd sell my face for the right price, you know?
Me
Like,
too.
but what are-
Use
how
me in the
much-
background.
How much are they going to pay someone not knowing how much they're going to use it? Like, are they actually
they'll
going to...
use it. They'll use my face in the background.
Well,
no.
no.
Here's the thing. You can use.
He's got better range than Timothy Chalamet.
I do. Look at this. Me happy. Me sad. Me angry. No, but see the difference with AI is they can make me dark, they can make me lighter, they can make
It
me
is
Asian,
crazy.
they can do whatever they want. So they can just like be like, hey, let's use this guy again. And we like his build. He has kind eyes. But what if you make him black? And I was like, okay. And they'll just do that.
There is a video out there. They actually have like a model and that like will cross over and it'll change the color. It's the same exact
That's
model.
like a character maker for a video game.
It's crazy.
That's
And
what
it's
it
like a,
Yeah.
So-
they're also using that to push the whole AI not having limits on what content they can use to train it is in the hearing, the stability AI guy was saying that they need to be able to not have parameters basically because that way it can be
sentient.
what? No, like fair. Like as
Fair
in
use.
it will be
Fair and balanced.
not what is the word I'm looking for? Like everyone would be
Discriminatory.
yes, it wouldn't be everyone would be represented. So they're trying to use that to push. We should be able to take whatever we want
Yeah, crazy.
for that reason, which is stupid.
Nut jobs.
So,
Yeah, so we'll see how long the this strike goes.
Yeah.
They're saying it probably will affect movies coming out. Movies will start getting delayed.
Well, everything shut down. Deadpool shut down.
All the actors had to, like Oppenheimer, they had to leave their
they left
the
one of the
tour
premieres,
and
didn't they?
premieres and all this stuff.
Right,
So it's
Comic-Con,
just-
no actors can go promote any movies at Comic-Con, which a bunch of studios pulled out anyway. So it's like, I think that's next week. So it's like there's not going to be anything.
I think some of the conventions are different depending on the panel that you go to. Because I think Yuri Lowenthal, who voices Spider-Man in the Sony games, I think he's still able to go to a certain panel.
They also said you can do indie movies as long as they're not big studios. There's a certain
Indie movies get
there's a certain loophole that they're like we can use it. So there's like saying, wait, indie movies will be able to go and keep going. It's just they're trying not to get to the big studios. But yeah, so we'll see what what happens with that. We're going to Oppenheimer on Thursday.
We are.
So that's going to be
later showing.
9:00. So expect
IMAX.
How long is that movie?
3 hours.
3 hours.
It's the longest Nolan movie ever made in the history of Nolan movies.
I will not be there.
Thursday?
Corey and Bree are going too.
Oh, are they?
I think so. Yeah, they texted me like, "We got our tickets in a different spot." I was like, "Well, so did Mick."
Yep.
So we'll be in
Oh,
this-
dang. I'll
we're
have to
gonna be
get my
yelling-
tickets.
We're gonna be yelling across. That was cool, Mick. What'd you think?
Stop talking.
That was the bomb. Get it? The
Oh
bomb.
my gosh.
Anyways, so we'll have our review on that. We might do like a out of theater.
Yeah, we probably should.
First impressions. But anything else, guys?
Did you hear the rumor that James Gunn is now saying that everything before Superman Legacy is not canon?
Yeah,
He just said the other day that Blue
would
Beetle
include
was.
Blue Beetle.
No, he said
He's the
the
character.
character is there, but the movie isn't canon, which makes no sense.
Like the
Like-
same actor.
Yes, Blue Beetle is his first DCU character, so he's in his universe, but the movie's not canon until Superman Legacy.
dream.
It's dumb. Here's the other thing.
Oh, casting.
Oh yeah,
They cast a bunch of. They cast Plastic
Metamorpho.
Man, Metamorpho,
Hawk Girl.
Hot Girl.
Crystal's got to love
What's the
Superman Legacy.
What's the
That's
They cast Nathan Fillion as
As
one-
Guy Gardner?
as a
Guy
Green
Gardner.
Lantern? This is just
okay. I have mixed feelings on that because I don't want that Green Lantern, but I love Nathan Fillion.
No, he's the
so
worst.
no,
I would have much
No.
preferred a John Stewart
I
Green
would
Lantern.
Well, I think
prefer
they're
that
gonna
too.
supposed to do that in the show,
If
right?
Hawk Girl's
Is
in
that
it,
still coming
They're not
out?
gonna do that show. That just they just said that so that
Space Cops, bro. I was into
no,
it.
they're not doing
if
it.
Hawk Girl is in it and Jon Stewart's not in it, how does that not make sense?
It's
Or how does that make sense?
this is this,
Tell me, how does it not make sense, Mick?
I don't know how to answer that.
How does that
this
make
is the
sense?
thing that drives me crazy. This movie is now becoming the only movie. It seems like the only movies James Gunn knows how to make is like big ensemble, like Peacemaker, Guardians of the Galaxy, was like so many characters.
And
I'm
Misfits.
not really a fan of that.
And
Because Guy
Misfits-
Gardner's kind of like a.
That's all he
Yeah.
knows how
he's
to
the
do.
he's a crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's like this was supposed to this is not a Superman movie anymore. They're saying like some of the plot has come out, and they're like, oh, it's some of the plot points. They're like, it's really similar to another movie that came out that did really bad. So they're like, it's just like Black Adam. It sounds a lot like Black Adam, where you have
That would be very
where
ironic.
you have
That'd be so funny.
where you have a conflict and a character doing something, and then the
and a kid
justice
skateboarding
the
around.
Justice Society comes in and they want to deal with it differently. They're like, that's kind of what this is. Superman wants to deal with a conflict.
There was
and
even a Hawk band in that movie.
there was, and they're like, and then so there's this group of superheroes that want to deal with it a certain way. Superman wants to do, and they're like,
And then Henry Cavill shows up at the end.
exactly. So it's just weird to me that you're like you're doing this whole Superman thing, but now it's just becoming like all these characters are in here, which
Well, they said he wasn't going to be an origin story.
right. But here's what drives me a little insane: when
Just a little.
in the past when that's been done, it was like, well, where's Wonder Woman's solo movie? where's Aquaman's solo movie? Where's Batman's solo movie? You can't just throw them in a movie and expect audiences to be like, okay, it's like, now you're doing this all on steroids. Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, what's that? The one guy,
Superman.
no, the
Batman.
the guy that's playing, the guy that was in X-Men, First Class.
Oh, Mr. Terrific?
Mr. Terrific, Mephisto. Like, you got all these characters now that are going to be established, so they're not just brand new. They've been in the route. You got the authorities in the movie. So I'm like, you're creating this whole universe, and now I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm like, that's what you complained about was wrong with the previous version, is that you didn't get solo movies. So it's just a weird thing that I'm just like, this movie seems like it's going to be super huge, and with that amount of characters, the budget's going to be pretty big, you would assume.
Yeah.
How can you have any emotional connection when there's that many people?
Well, that's the thing. Like, don't
In
you want
one
people to
movie,
care
just
about
right
Superman
away.
and Lois? It's weird, and because James Gunn also said that Crypto's going to be in it. So I was like,
Played by Dwayne Rock Johnson.
so
There's no Batman?
not yet, but it might be because Batman is around already in this universe. It's already been established, and it's an older Batman. So,
I hope that's just a movie, like straight 2 hours of just cameo after cameo after cameo.
well, I actually went in and did, because people say that BVS was a failure because it needed to make $1 billion because it had Batman and Superman in it, which is a lie. But because those are the rules now, I went in and picked out each character. So there's a Green Lantern in it. So I got the budget that the Green Lantern movie made, and I've put them all together. So Superman Legacy has to make, according to my calculations, $1.8 billion to not be a failure, including all the characters that I took. Super Pets, because Crypto was in that one. That one made 283. So
That was a major
I took
disappointment.
all those things. It's Superman, so I took the highest Superman one. I didn't do BVS. I did Man of Steel. So it has to make the 600 and plus.
I think that was in the
Man of
7s,
Steel.
wasn't it?
No, it was 6.
the man did his calculations.
So
All right. Yeah,
the more
right.
characters that are added, I'm adding to this budget. This movie has to make, probably is going to have to make $2 billion.
James
just to
Cameron
not
has
be
to
a failure.
direct this movie.
So just so you guys know,
You're on notice. Who are you talking
those
to?
are the rules now. I'm just saying. It's just in general for anyone out there listening that may stumble upon this podcast.
Them's the
Legacy.
rules.
Yeah, those are the rules. I didn't make them up. That's what happened
For
when
sure you
BVS came out. They said this was a failure. So, anything else?
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I
We
think
covered
so.
it.
All right.
I'm sure there's something. But,
We missed it.
Whatever.
Oh, first season of Diablo is starting this
July
coming-
20th.
Yes.
The game
Yes.
or on Netflix?
No. The game, the first
new show.
season, which 3 months, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
Nice.
We will be playing.
If
I
you're
don't
playing
know.
Diablo, look for Josh and Crystal and Corey and Joel.
Yeah, Corey stopped playing
And
because he
Joey.
was like, "Oh, we'll wait for the season to start." So
Oh, nice. Well, find your nerd age friends playing Diablo Season 1. Right? You can find people, right?
yeah,
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
there you go.
I mean, we'd probably have to accept your friend request.
Well, there you go. Just tell them you listen to the podcast, and they'll
send us
accept your-
$20.
and they'll accept your request.
Join our Patreon for
right.
details
Exactly.
who we are.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us this week. We will be back next week with Oppenheimer, which is going to be awesome. Maybe Barbie. If Josh and Crystal go and watch Barbie, we'll watch
I don't
Oppenheimer.
watch it.
But yeah, thanks so much. We will be back next week. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And yeah, see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.